the first time it had done so, he stressed.
Well, Hezbollah says it is keeping its finger on the trigger in case of any treachery or betrayal from Israel during the ongoing ceasefire in Lebanon. In a statement shared on Telegram, the Iran-backed group described its operations during the conflict, thus for saying that it is absolutely unrespectful. The news in detail.
Hezbollah says it is keeping its finger on the trigger in case of any treachery and betrayal from Israel during the ongoing ceasefire in Lebanon. In a statement shared on Telegram, the Iran-backed group described its operations during conflict thus far, saying that it has carried out 2,184 operations against Israel between the 2nd of March and the 16th of April. Hezbollah, which is prescribed as a terrorist organization by countries including the UK and US, was not involved in a ceasefire talks, with Israel negotiating with Lebanese government instead. Reacting to news of the truce on Thursday, Hezbollah said, any ceasefire must be comprehensive across all Lebanese territory and must not allow the Israeli enemy any freedom of movement. Israel agreed to a temporary ceasefire of 10 days, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insisted that Israel troops would remain in security zone in Lebanese territory for the ceasefire's duration. More than 2,000 people in Lebanon have been killed in a 6-week conflict. With 1 in 5 people displaced, Israel says 2 of its civilians and 13 soldiers have been killed. Donald Trump says Iran has agreed to hand over its enriched uranium, one of the key sticking points in negotiations to bring the war to an end. These talks, he said, could resume as early as this weekend, with Washington and Tehran very close to making a deal. Speaking at an event in Las Vegas focusing on U.S. economy, the U.S. president gave of his most upbeat assessment of the war since it started. He said it was going swimmingly and should be ending soon. At the White House, he said Iran had agreed not to obtain a nuclear weapon and would turn over what he called the nuclear dust, enriched uranium believed to be buried underground following the U.S.-Israeli airstrikes last year. Iran has not commented on the president's claim. Apparently confident that a fresh round to face-to-face talks, Trump said he wasn't sure an extension to a ceasefire with Iran due to expire in 5 days was necessary. Meanwhile, the Israel military has warned the residents in Lebanon not to move south of the Litani River as its troops remain deployed there. On Thursday, the Lebanese army said the area south of the river, about 40 kilometers north of its border with Israel, has been cut off from the rest of the country because of Israel strikes. As news of the ceasefire spread through Israel's northern communities, in the sky above the northern city of Nahalia, Israel's air defense interceptors shot up to block them, triggering loud explosions. Ambulance crews said at least 3 people were wounded shrapnel in the hours before the ceasefire took effect, including 2 seriously.